is the Glass Cannon Network.
Good evening and welcome to Glass Cannon Live on Twitch. Even though we're not live, who cares? That's the name of the show.
And even if you're watching this on YouTube, it's not on Twitch either. It's a very weird intro. Very specific opening.
Live.
Or if you're listening to it as a podcast.
Yeah, right.
Neither live nor on Twitch.
Here's the thing. As we're recording this, it's very live to us. It's very real. Yes. There are no stopsies or givesies, backsies. This is as live as it gets, even though it's not live.
Couldn't be any more live.
Live to tape.
Before we get to some classic Glass Cannon Bant, had a funny anecdote that I thought at least you guys would enjoy, or maybe the fans will enjoy. I don't really care. My oldest, Archer, is in preschool, and they had a circle this morning, like with all the kids, and they went around the circle, and the kids had to say what they wanted to do when they grow, like either what they wanted to do when they grow up, or like, talking about the future, like what's the future look like? And my son, takes after my wife and is very good looking, and he's very charismatic. So they went to a couple of the girls, and one of the girls is like, Susie, what do you want to do when you grow up? She's like, I want to marry Archer. Right? And so Archer's next, and they like, oh, you want to marry Archer? All right, calm down. Archer, what do you want to do?
Do you accept?
Archer, and Archer, what do you want to do? And he goes, I want to have a goblin sword in kindergarten. It's just my favorite.
And then that little girl looks across, sighs, and says, I'll change him.
Or maybe she'll take this opportunity to learn that men don't change.
I want to have a goblin sword in kindergarten.
I still just want a goblin sword. That's all I
like, check in with Archer in 25 years. He'd be like, I want a goblin sword for my 26th birthday. He's not 20.
It would have been better in kindergarten, but I'll still take it.
Better late than never.
If she had said, do you mean a dog slicer? Then he should have married her on the spot. That's the more accurate word. I think you mean a dog slicer.
I think you mean a dog slicer.
Love you. So that was my little anecdote. Here's the bant. So I was on Instagram before we went live, and was flipping through, and there's this, it's Brendan Fraser in 1997. And an interviewer is like,
that's peak Brendan Fraser, right?
That's the Mummy, right?
Yeah, it's like
hot phrase.
He's hot phrase, right? And they're like, 1997. Keep in mind the year, right? And the interviewer is like,
it's like Gods and Monsters, I think.
Well, it might be Gods and Monsters. Ian
I
McKellen.
think it's Gods and Monsters at that point.
That's a great. I was working at Blockbuster. I was like, Gods and Monsters. Brendan Fraser, 1997. The interviewer is like,
it's right before Gods and Monsters. He might have made it already, but yeah.
He was hot. Well, this is going to let you know how hot he was. 1997. The interviewer is like, did you know? And she's got like, not an iPad because they didn't have iPads. She's got like a printout. She's like, did you know there's a website about you? And his reaction is as pure can be. He's like, what? Really? Like megastar, like top 10 stars on the world. What? And she shows him the website, and it's just a printout of the website, and then they cut to B-roll of someone scanning through the website. It's like just Brendan Fraser. It's not even BrendanFraser.com. It's just like a website dedicated to Brendan Fraser.
Fan site on like GeoCities or like Angel Fire.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah. But like he was shocked that it existed, and she was like, "Can you believe it?" And it was this crazy little exchange between the two of them, and it really caught me. I was like, "Wow, 1997 wasn't that long ago."
1997 is
6 years ago.
It's the first time that I remember going to a website, like going to the internet and like to visit websites. You guys remember any like the first websites you would visit at that time? I'm not talking about like chat rooms and stuff like that. I'm talking about like a website. Because one that stands out to me for whatever reason, I mean, you know, I love TV. I've always loved TV, was HBO.com. I thought it was like the coolest thing. It was like, you could put it in and it came up, and I remember it was like Times Square. It was like the New York City skyline. And they had like the ads were kind of like the TV shows that were like on HBO. But you couldn't like click on those things yet. It was just like there would be like a list at the bottom or whatever. But that image of like the background would load like this.
Yeah.
Like line by line. And I always stood out to me as like HBO.com. I thought it was the weirdest thing.
That's so strange. So like I started college in 96. I graduated high school in 96. And so September of 96 was when I started college at BC, and I got my first like real computer and got my first email address and logged onto the internet. And it was like, what is going on here? But before that, my only exposure is my parents bought my cousin's old computer off of him, which was the monitor, everything was green. It was just green back in the day. And there was no internet. You could get AOL. People were like way into AOL. I didn't do it because you had to pay for it. But there were bulletin boards. They were called BBSs, bulletin board service. And you would it was like a shared chat room with people in your area. And you would just go on and chat. And there'd be different rooms, like a general chat. Oh, hey, so-and-so 316. And you'd talk to them. And then there'd be like rooms where you could play games with each other. But like that to me was revolutionary. And then I got to college and it was like, I could just go to any website. It's pretty wild. I had a dot matrix printer. It was like,
so this I think is a fun like litmus test. But like when you had papers in high school, what did you do? Did you type them on a typewriter? Did you type them at the computer lab at school? Did you handwrite them? Like what? What did you do?
I'm hogging this conversation, but like we didn't have a lot of money. Like the only reason I even went to like a nice all boys high school is because I got a full 4-year scholarship to go there. And then we didn't have a computer. And then my junior year, we bought my cousin's computer with the dot matrix printer. And like I could print out one thing. And if I got it wrong, that was it. I couldn't reprint it. The ink was too pricey. So it was like, and I'd hand that in. They'd be like, you need to make a couple changes. I'm like, I can't. That's the paper. The ink is too expensive.
So back in that time, I used a typewriter until maybe junior year of high school, and until I got my first computer, and I was like, I remember going in with the whiteout things to like correct mistakes, like slam, like to like knock a letter out and stuff. And then I got the computer, and I remember my senior year, like being up stupid late to do projects because it's just like super procrastinating. And I remember that dot matrix printer firing off 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and it's sounding like a hurricane inside the house. It's like, it's so quiet. Everybody's asleep. Yeah. And I remember one time, I was like, I had this project. I can't remember what it was, but I think it was English. Long paper, and I just ran out of time. I was too late. I had technical issues, whatever it was, and I actually ran out of time to do my bibliography. And I just put a blank page on the back of the paper, and I stapled it, and then I grabbed the back and I ripped it off. So there was just like a piece of paper hanging on the back, and I just turned that in. And he was like, "Where's your bibliography?" And I was like, I don't know. Oh, look, it must have ripped off.
That's good, Joe.
Yes. Really and my dad told a coworker about that, and he was like, "That kid's going to be a millionaire."
That is good. I'm not even I look at that and I'm like, genius.
The teacher in me is just like, why didn't you just say, I ran out of time. I didn't get to do my bibliography.
Because you, Matthew, are a new era of teacher, which are reasonable. And you also teach college students. So this is like
Because college students never try to get out of doing work.
no, but college
Well, no,
is
but you can't,
generally an
like,
arena where
punish
you
them.
speak more peerishly to teachers and students. Like in high school, this guy was like 76 years old. He was like, ah, ah! He ran it like a military academy, that English class.
Yeah, you can't make a college student like write a phrase on a chalkboard 7,000 times.
Right, exactly.
And so this 76-year-old drill instructor bought that, like bought the old.
Oh, I'm sure he didn't buy it. I'm sure he was like, all right. Well played,
appreciate
O'Brien.
the effort
He called
put
me
into the
O'Brien. He
lie.
called everybody by their last name. He was intense.
I got in trouble.
You have thoughts?
Okay, your thoughts.
I'm just like, I went off on the internet because I was like, there are websites that I would go to. I don't remember the names. I'm like Googling them while you guys are bringing the conversation to school. Like you're like, oh, computers in the beginning of the internet. How did you write papers? No, listen, I don't remember how the fuck I wrote papers. My brain like garbage collects a lot of things that I don't need to remember anymore. But the one thing it doesn't garbage collect is homestarrunner.com.
Oh yeah.
For me as like an elder
I'm sorry,
emo,
what did you say?
homestarrunner.com,
Homestar Runner.
strong bad with like
Strong Bad.
Trogdor, and then like all the meme sites. Like, what's the site?
Every
where
word
it's-
you're saying, I've never heard in my life.
What's
Is
the
she speaking
site?
French? I feel like she's speaking
What's the
French.
site where it's like badger, 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 mushroom, mushroom? What is that? And the spoon is too big.
Oh,
Oh.
my spoon is
The rejected.
Big.
rejected cartoons.
yeah.
Which
And-
is Don
Thursday is
Hertz.
coming. Did
Don
you bring his
Hertzfield.
coat?
Did you
was
bring your
amazing.
coat? And
Hertzbold.
as an elder emo,
they speaking English?
explodingdog.com.
Oh yeah.
I mean, now I know how you guys felt while we were talking.
Kate,
But Skid, you're nodding.
I was in those chat rooms pretending I was 18 with stolen images from the internet, talking to strangers, and making Hanson fan sites on Angel Fire and GeoCities and making it so that a song played in my MySpace profile that you couldn't fucking pause.
Yes. And changing your background on MySpace to like a weird fucking like falling star graphic that was
Yeah.
impossible to
With
read
like
the text.
cartoon dolls, the Palace cartoon dolls you
Yes.
could customize.
The
I
glitter dolls.
downloaded the Palace program and like played in it. It's like the metaverse, but like before that was a thing. It's just like this universe where you're just a cartoon doll and you're walking around with other people and you go to rooms. And that's how cartoon dolls were made.
This
How are
is
those?
like
How are those Hanson guys doing it?
They're all married with children and they have a lot of children. And
That
Yeah,
says
they're-
it all.
I mean, they're crushing it.
Yeah, upstanding, progressive young men, right?
Yeah, they're pretty
Yes.
up to
Kate,
date
you're
on
talking
the
about
times.
the 2000s internet, which is like
Yeah.
my era that I grew up in too. So I know what you're talking about. But I was even a little bit. It's funny how it comes in waves of eras of internet because I was a little bit after that, and mine was on the end of that, and then it became like E-Bombs world,
Oh,
Yeah, I remember
Addicting-
E-Bombs World.
addicting games,
Addicting games.
which was all like it was fun, and then
E-Bomb.
you clicked
Whatever
on a-
happened to E-Bomb? E-Bomb
It's
should
still
have
there.
ended up being, well, I know,
It's
but
still
they
there.
should have been YouTube. You know what I mean? Like they were like
Yeah.
one of the first that I remember watching video comedy
so
online.
much, and there's so much. Like I remember just being like, I could click on this site forever. Like there's so many categories.
Yeah.
And I think that, and then even further than that, a site that like amazed me with just how much was on the internet, like the internet was growing in front of my eyes, was stumbleupon.com,
Yes.
which was a
Yes.
genius website that basically you would sometimes click interests or something, sometimes not. You would just hit the word stumble and it would bring you to a random website, just a random URL. And it was a lot of like art and like weird indie sites, like things you would never find because like Google wasn't even really huge then. I don't know. It was like mind blowing to me. Even growing up with the internet, I was just like, there's so much internet.
dude,
Stumble
I
upon
played.
was. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kate.
Well, while we're talking about this, like I played a game recently called Hypnospace Outlaw, and you're basically like this internet enforcer but like the internet's like the old internet, and there's like people with sites, and it has guest books and comments, and the sites that you go to, they look like they did in like the 90s and 2000s, where they're glitchy and they're just like weird, and it's a bit of an overwhelming game visually, but it's really great.
This game looks
wow.
so cool.
That's awesome.
Well, here's a controversial a statement I'm going to throw out there. It's very controversial. The way we look back at these early internet things, which for some of us wasn't early internet, it was just our first exposure to internet. It seems crazy now, right? Like crazy that like that was considered the thing. This is without judging the merits of it. This is how people are responding negatively to AI right now. Like people are like, this is stupid, this is bad, this is horrible.
You know what?
In 20 years, it is going to be such a part of our norm and mainstream that like we're going to look fucking dumb forever saying this is stupid.
It's
in
just
the
after-
same way that we look back at the internet.
I know AI is not crypto, but after the whole crypto thing where everyone's like, there's this thing, let's find problems for it to solve. That's what people are doing with AI. It's all I hear about during my work day. I honestly like, it seems cool, but like if I see that it's a tool there, I don't care about it though. And everyone's talking about it and it's not like perfect yet, but everyone's using it already in like production applications and it's just like kind of nuts. And I think, yeah, it will be like that, but
It's going to ruin everything.
Right now, I hate
Or will
it.
it be like E-Bomb's world?
It might be, right? It won't.
That thing.
It's taking over.
Yeah,
And
remember
we're all
that
gonna
thing?
be-
Remember when we all thought AI was going to be so big? This is us talking in 100 years.
We're going to be delivering pizzas to AIs in about 5 years. It's going to be Joe showing up the door. Hey, did you order 2 pepperoni?
No, our jobs will be training them.
That's
Yeah.
possible. It is crazy though to look back. I Brendan Fraser's face like, what? He was so sincere. It's like a website about me?
Websites.
I think he'd have that same reaction today.
He pronounced it weird. It was like a web seat. He didn't even know how to say it. It was so
A web seat?
But I know a website I'd like to visit. It's called lastepisode.com.
Oh, I love that website.
That's
I'm
my
going to
segue.
right now.
I'm going to. I was just saying
Yeah,
the same thing.
does someone
that's
own
a
it?
good
Probably
URL.
check.
Yes, it's a publishing thing.
Ventures Publishing.
God, everybody owns something.
Somebody owns it.
Email contact@lastepisode.com and say, do something with this site or my lawyers are going to be after you.
Right. More people just clicked on your site in the past 5 minutes than will ever click on it. You're welcome.
All these
Let's
direct
talk.
visits. Wow.
Whoa.
Well, last episode, forget the .com, you folks found yourself in a bit of a pickle, as it were. You said, let's do invisibility sphere. Let's if there's going to be enemies, let's try to get the jump on them. The jump. And so you go into a new area. You realize that the prison is split through some sort of mechanism that's only used for lockdowns, but it's being used right now because there's a civil war going on between the warden and the deputy warden, 2 moon beasts that don't see eye to eye on how prison should be run. You get through to the other side, and the first room you come into is a fucking prison, like a legit prison. Cells, wall-to-wall cells. They look empty. Or are they? You go to the south and you find this woman, this Osiriani woman in there. She seems like she's got her shit together, but you talk to her for all of 3 seconds and she doesn't. A former academic whose mind was opened up to the other side, who perhaps spent a little too much time trying to contact the other side, and something happened that clearly tore her mind asunder, and now she would rather die here than live in your world, where bad things are coming. Seems like there's someone else in these cells to the north, but you're like, you know what? We've got a couple seconds left of the invisibility sphere. If there's any more enemies, let's go upstairs and let's figure this out. The king in yellow, the yellow king, rather, is here, and it looks like he's being kept on this side. Let's find him. Let's get the fuck out. So you go upstairs and you see a janitor, a mechanic working on some weird thing on the wall. There's like this torture devices all throughout the room, and all the torture devices are connected to this contraption on the wall. There seems to be this echo of a scream, like a far distant scream that you hear. Like, what's going on? You talk to the simple janitor that's like, oh, I have nothing to do with this civil war. It's all very, I'm just, well, what's your story? And you guys start talking to her, and the torture beds come to life, and she turns into an humble dragon. Joe immediately says this is an unwinnable fight and checks out.
Yes, that is true. I don't know why I said that. There was something though. It's usually one thing that sets me off. I think
I'll
it's
tell
that
you
it
what
has
sets
like
you
a
off.
34 AC.
A high AC. You don't like a high AC.
Hate a high AC.
You
Give
don't
me
like having to hit
1,000
with an 18
points.
plus.
I like a good 9-round fight where I hit every round.
Well, then you shouldn't be playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition because, high ACs are the jam. If I were to give a +1 AC to a creature, they immediately become unhittable unless you roll a 20. This creature is difficult, and it seems like, I think, Ethel, your prime damage dealer, rolled like a 17 and missed. I might be exaggerating, but if I am, it's not by much. And you were
I
like,
don't think that was on the first attack.
well, there's nothing else to do here. So this thing is laying out significant damage. Ethel, brave hero that he is, rushes right up and gets grabbed by one of these beds. Aldo is grabbed as well. Suki is grabbed but escapes and then rushes back or behind the wall. So Aldo is grabbed, Ethel's grabbed, Ethel breaks out and is striking, but Ethel has been taking a beating. At the end of the episode, Suki escapes from the bed and says, I am going to tumble through this door into the next room, splitting the party.
But
And starting another encounter.
maybe I don't.
Oh, no.
Well, it's interesting you say that because we went off air and was like, all right, you guys, you don't see this if you're watching this. We're like, all right, good night. That was fun. Oh, it's great seeing you guys. We high five. And everybody leaves. And Joe and I stayed on to talk about something. And Joe's like, I didn't want to bring this up. 'Cause I didn't want to derail the momentum of the show. But opening the door is an action. And Suki did not have an action with which to open the door to get into that room.
I think I said it more like, she can't just do whatever she feels like, right? Like, because she was like, and it was actually a great cinematic moment. You're like, and Suki just stumbles back and just bangs into that door open and just like wants to look inside. And I was like, that sounded really neat, but you can't do that.
Yeah, you're right.
And so I thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we do now?
I have some
think-
thoughts.
Oh, you do? Okay. I mean, if you
But
have
please,
thoughts,
what were you
was
thinking?
I was gonna say, maybe I don't do that, and maybe it was just me being caught up in the moment of gameplay.
Sure.
I'm sorry. Were you
We've all
having
been there.
fun? I'm going to need you to
Maybe-
tone that down a
Yeah,
bit.
a little.
That's your fault.
Quite enough of that. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I was having a wee bit of fun with my lads, and I might have spoken out of turn. Troy, please forgive. My benevolent GM, please forgive.
I mean, I forgive you, but I don't forget. And at the end of the day,
Joe's right. I literally can't do that, though.
Sure. But then I thought about it and it was like, this feels like a cheap ending to the show. Had Joe said something, I would have been like, you're right. Guess we'll play for another 10 minutes till I find an ending to this episode. But that was the ending of the episode, and damn it, I can't not give to the beautiful listeners and supporters and viewers of this show. I can't take that moment away from them. So in this case, it appears that door was slightly ajar because you do stumble into it.
Okay. All right. Ho, ho, ho. There must be something horrible in there.
Yep, this is punishment to me. Okay.
Let's go to the map. Let's go to the map.
Oh.
I'd prefer not to.
That's big. Oh. Okay. Yet another gorgeous room.
Yeah.
From Davy Maps.
Old Davy Maps.
Old Davy
He changed
Maps.
his Twitter handle to Old Davy Maps. Give Old Davy Maps a follow on Twitter. You stumble backwards into this room gracefully. Luckily, the door was ajar. Otherwise, you would have bumped your head. And it contains an enormous mechanism, like a singular mechanism, it looks like, of gears and pulleys that descend into the floor. And you see one large metal lever, or a lever,
If you're Australian.
if you're Australian, protruding from the device. And no other way in or out of the room, as far as you can see, other than the ajar door that you stumbled through, and it's making noise. And that's the end of your turn. And now, it is Atticus's turn.
Can I ask a question, a clarifying question?
Who was that?
I think I'm hearing a producer.
Clarifying question about the lever.
Matthew, yes.
In the
lever
scale
that you
model,
can't see?
Yes, this is Matthew, not Ethel. In the scale model of the prison that we saw, is this the lever that we saw that could open that slab that divided the wings, or is this some other lever?
It appears, if the model was correct and nothing has changed, it appears that the lever in this room is what changed the shifting hallway
Cool.
between the prison that you were able to pass through. It appears to be that same lever. And it's Atticus's turn.
Do we want to flip that lever?
It doesn't really help you at this point. You're through.
My only thought, it helps
it.
us to get back out because we had that whole debacle with the gate. And also, if the other moon beast wants to come fight his brother, that does help us. But
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to act quickly here in this unwinnable fight. And he's just going to run up 15 feet to Aldo.
Yep.
And he just like scrambles up. He's got a wand in one hand. I almost see his other hand like hitting the ground as he's just like rat running up to Aldo. And he's just like, Aldo, run, get out of there. And he is going to touch you with the wand. And that is a wand of freedom of movement.
Okay.
So you automatically succeed at your check to escape.
Great.
Well, that's pretty sweet.
Is the deal. And yeah, well, the only question is this thing particularly, is it a magic effect or is it actually like a hose that's holding him? Like, is it like a magical energy field or is it like an actual physical thing that is holding him, even if it's,
There is a physical thing that's holding him.
okay.
Oh,
It's a strap from the torture pit.
Okay. So,
Is that good?
Yeah, it should be. I mean, it just depends. It says it automatically succeeds unless the effect is magical and of a higher level than the freedom of movement spell. So,
Well, it is magical.
yeah, but it's still a belt. I don't know.
It's a magical. Essentially, it's a magical trap.
Yeah, I mean, it's like casting like an immobilized spell where it's like you're paralyzed or something. Versus
Yeah,
a
yes,
magic,
exactly. That's how I
magic
read it,
driving some physical thing.
But yeah, whatever. If you don't want this to work because it doesn't exceed the level of the hazard, I would get that. But it's up to you, Troy.
Well, that's interesting. So, what is it called again? It's
Freedom of
liberating
movement.
A freedom
It's a
of movement.
4th level spell. When they attempt to escape an effect that has them immobilized, grabbed, or restrained, they automatically succeed, unless the effect is magical and of a higher level than the freedom of movement spell.
Well, that's interesting, right? Like it's a magical trap, but yeah, the way it's written makes it seem like you're frozen in time. But then again, if magical branches came out of the ground and grabbed you, wouldn't that to me seems like, oh, you shouldn't be able to escape that with freedom of movement.
It's up to interpretation for sure. It's, some effect is clearly not magical if a monster is holding you, right? Like, and if the trap is mundane, clearly not magical. So you could say that this is magical, but I sort of interpret magical as like, blue lines of force, like magical energy that are restraining you, or a paralyzed spell or an immobilized spell kind of thing. But whatever, it's up to you. I will touch Aldo with that regardless, and then run back and out towards Suki, and just get back as far as I can in the room while still staying in clear line of sight of the target creature. And that'll be the end of my turn.
All right. I want to give you a chance, though, if I decide to rule the other way, to do something else, because that would just waste your turn based on a ruling, and I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't really care. It's fine. because I'm going to do it anyway. Like in the game, I'm going to do it anyway. Like I have
it doesn't work.
I have no way of knowing that this magic is a higher level than freedom of movement. It's a pretty high level spell.
Yeah. Freedom of movement is a 4th level spell. Yeah. Oh, this is tricky, right? God, I wish I could get through 5 minutes of this game and have everything be straightforward. But like to me, the way I'm reading it is like, unless the effect is magical. The effect here is technically magical, and it is of a higher level, so it didn't work.
Okay.
And now
I mean, the whole reason that I was doing that and was not going to cast a spell on this thing is because I will not cast any spells on this thing that require a save while I'm frightened. It's just not worth the risk.
Right.
It
and now
hurts
your
my
frightened
DC.
goes down by
I'm
1.
just going to waste time until I get my full DC back.
Okay. Apropos of nothing, I am going to just show you guys. It's the dragon's turn. I'm just going to show you guys this cone that I have here.
Oh no.
Oh,
I'm just putting it up there just to show you. I'll put it on the map layer here.
it
for
takes up the
example.
whole map.
Oh,
And while it's there, I'll just move it slightly.
Oh no.
I want to get Ethel in there too. I think I can give it a little
zhuzh.
little Carolina twist here. Is a Carolina twist a thing?
Yep.
What
Oh,
provokes?
That's pretty tricky.
Oh.
Ooh, this is gonna be
Oh.
tricky.
oh wait, it's the dark. It's the
I don't-
dark square.
I don't know
Very
if you're gonna be able to get
interesting.
Ethel and Aldo, actually.
Wait. Oh, damn it! You're
I
right.
also have a tiny
so
little
weird.
bit of cover.
Pre-show, this worked fine. I don't know why. Did somebody move?
No.
It's a 30-foot cone.
Look at that shit. It is perfect. All right, let me see how many actions it is. Oh, fuck my ball sack.
That's inappropriate.
How many? I'm sorry. Please don't do that to my ball sack. All right, that's 2 actions. All right, that's fine. Here's what I'm going to do. I am going. Well, I'm going to token John. I'm going to. Oh wait, you're standing there. Well, this is a real sticky wicket, isn't it?
Why is it sticky? Can't you just do whatever you want because you're a dragon?
You think, right? You'd think, Kate.
Because it's probably a 3-action breath, so he can't move to reposition to get
I
everybody.
think I can take a step action to move up there. Okay, and
But then you won't
go-
get Eris, which is nice.
No, I want to get all of them. Can I
Can't.
get all? I can't, right?
I think you can get 2 of 3. You can choose. Oh. No.
You can't even get 2 of 3. You can only
You're
get 1
putting-
of 3.
You're putting a circular peg in a square hole right now, over
Yeah.
and over again on the map.
This is great for radio. So describe Troy is doing. He's taking
good.
an
Well,
image
that's why
of
you
the
gotta watch the
cone,
show.
and he's trying to twist it in such a way that he can get more than 1 or 2 characters.
But he can't.
Let's try this one. Wow, this is so crazy. I thought I was a genius pre-show. I was like, got him. And now, wait. Oh, damn it. That's only like a hair.
That's
Oh my
amazing.
God.
Wow,
Look
look
at
at
Aldo.
no way.
It's like
no,
it's
look
like
at
a
Aldo. Perfectly not in it.
it's like
So
a
the cone needs to cover at least half the square or something?
Yeah,
It
but
needs
like
to touch
right
the
here,
square, but his
this
circle is
cone
currently
would
in
be
between
Ethel
4
and
squares.
Eris. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to attack Ethel and Eris. That's what I'm
Sweet.
going to do with a. It's called a breath weapon. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but what I'd like you to do is a reflex save.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to matter what I roll because I'm
know.
going to go
Don't
down.
say that. You're
I'm gonna
great.
go I have 20 hit points. Even though
Oh no!
I could-
You really
I
are
can-
going down.
I'm going down right now.
Well, don't critically fumble.
Well, that would be bad, I guess.
That would be bad. You don't want to go straight to dying too.
Okay, I rolled a 15, so that's not bad. So that's a 29.
I got 29 also.
Couple 29s. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Not bad to save my life. Not enough to save my life, but still not bad.
I mean, they both failed, but they were good rolls.
DC 30. This thing is 3 levels higher than us. Minimum.
You both take 38 points of damage.
All right.
It's just this like it
so if I had
opens
succeeded, I would have stayed up.
You would have stayed up. It opens its mouth and this dark necromantic, like black, I don't want to call it fire. It's just like energy comes out and washes over you, and you just feel life leaving your body as it bathes you in this shadow darkness.
It's not fire.
No, it's not fire.
It's shadow breath.
It's shadow breath.
Great.
It's halitosis.
You know that breath you have sometimes when you had like a really aggressive night of drinking the night before and you forget to brush your teeth. You wake up the next morning and you taste it in yourself and you're like, it's as if elements of the shadow plane itself have seeped its way into my lungs.
I get that even when I brush my teeth. Acid reflux. I think we've done this conversation already, though.
Oh yeah, we talked about this.
I remember being in college. It's like I never drank in high school. It was like the first time I like drank was in college, and one of my buddies, I remember, I'll never forget, for whatever reason, he's coming out of the bathroom in the morning, just kind of hungover. You know, we're hungover, and he just walks out and he goes, "Did any of you see someone shit in my mouth last night?" As he was just describing like that taste, like he had forgotten to brush his teeth, and just the like lingering awfulness. Just like, oh, it tastes like I ate shit last night.
I would like to state for the record, because that story made it seem like I was telling an anecdote based on personal experience. There's been one night in my life that I've forgotten to brush my teeth. I was 16 and I haven't done it ever since. So
Really?
Wow.
You've never.
Good for you, Matthew.
Ever.
I totally have. I still do. I'm sorry.
I
You've
forgot.
never
Yeah.
been sick? You've never been so sick that you just have to go to bed and you can't brush your teeth? Like you're ill with the flu or something?
yeah, I brush my teeth first.
Sometimes I can't even just like muster it. I don't know if it's like the lack of or having a mental illness that prevents it sometimes.
As your teeth are the best friends you've got if you take care of them.
I brush my teeth religiously, morning, night, never miss it at all. Something happened around the third child where all of a sudden it'll be like 9 o'clock at night and I'll be like, I didn't brush my teeth today. And that's happened like 10 times over the past month and a half. And it never happened before. I taste like shit in my mouth. Speaking of shit in my mouth, let's take a quick word for our sponsor.
Crest.
Thanks, Colgate.
I'm still laughing.
Colgate gets the shit out of your mouth.
4 out of 5 dentists agree. Clears the shit out of your mouth.
That last dentist was like, my mouth still tastes shitty.
It's like a bidet for your face.
Almost made me spit take my whiskey.
I don't remember anything about the show Friends. I don't think I watched it beyond like the 4th or 5th season. But there's one joke that I never forget. Somebody walks in and says, "Guess what?" And I think it's Chandler is like, "The 5th dentist cave. Now everyone approves Trident." And I was like, that's a really good joke. Now it's been like probably overused, but that was the first time I'd ever heard that joke. I was like, that's
good.
It's Aldo's turn.
It's okay if you
Dentist
watched
cave.
Friends, Troy. You know, you can.
No, I'm
admit
not
that.
saying nothing against Friends. I got nothing against Friends. I don't remember it though. I have no like Avatar. I saw Avatar. I couldn't tell you anything about Avatar. Friends, same thing.
I did not watch Friends. All right, so Aldo, speaking of Friends, he turns to Atticus and says, like, "Well, it was a nice try. It's good. It's the thought that counts."
What? It's not working?
No, it didn't work, mate. I'm still held fast, as it were.
He looks at the wand. Useless.
Throws it away.
Breaks it over his knee.
Breaks it in half.
All right, so that's one action. And with my second action, I'm going to. I'm really like. So, did I try it? Do I have an idea of what it would take to break free of this thing on my own?
Natural 20.
I can't remember if you tried it or not. I think you were like, you know what?
did.
I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to throw 3 bombs. But yeah, I mean, it seems like it's holding you pretty fat. What's your athletics?
It's not good. It's 10.
10.
Plus
Yeah.
10.
So you're like, oh man, this is this is what you feel. You feel like this is going to be really hard. I need a miracle.
Right. All right. So instead, with his one free hand, he's just going to continue to underhand bombs at this thing at probably about the same success rate. All right. So with all right. So that was with the bottled lightning. That is a 35.
35 is a hit.
Okay.
Nice.
There we go. Natural 19.
It can be hit.
If it bleeds, we can kill it. All right, that is 10 points of damage, and
Okay.
it is flat-footed until the beginning of my next turn.
That's big.
Okay.
And I'm now going to throw a blight bomb.
Okay. A blight bomb.
Yeah, it's a waste of time. Okay, well, I did about as well as I could do with my second attack. That is a natural 18 for a 29.
Okay, with the flat-footed, that is a hit.
Yeah!
Awesome.
The
Okay,
flat-footed
so
condition, that's a hit.
all right, so a sickly green miasma covers its body as it takes that is 13 points of damage,
Okay, and what kind of
And-
damage? Is it a specific type of damage?
poison damage.
Ah. Okay.
Okay. And assuming that affects it, it will also have 2d4 persistent damage.
Okay, 2d4 persistent poison. All right, so you see it like yell in pain as it gets hit. And I will throw a little... Actually, that's acid. It's a good one for poison. I don't know. All right, and you have one more action.
No, I spent an action apologizing.
Ah, fair enough.
So
And that was a full action. It's Eris's turn. Eris, what do you got up your sleeve there?
Something really gross.
Not surprised.
I have a couple questions.
I'll allow it.
So it seems to be like kind of up against the wall next to these mechanisms here. How tall are the ceilings in this room?
I'm glad you asked. I actually know the answer to that question, which is why I'm glad you asked.
That's great.
And
I
I
like to
believe-
ask questions that you know.
15 feet high.
Sweet. So before I do this, I'm gonna take a moment just to be like, guys, are we gonna try to like win this right now, or should we be more defensive maybe?
no, attack. It's flat-footed. Check it and see.
All right. Wait, is Ethel dead?
Yep.
Yeah, I put the
No,
red
he's
X on
dying.
him.
He's a
Did you
dying
not?
one.
He's dying one.
Okay.
Oh, you're
He's on
dying
the-
one?
He's on the ground.
Here's what fucking happens. Eris reaches out and starts casting, and you see up from the floor, this fleshy wall emerges and just
Fleshy wall?
rises up all the way to the ceiling. A wall of flesh and mouths.
Oh.
And it goes from that top north part of the wall above the dragon, and it extends 5, 10, 15, 20 feet. So it doesn't completely encase it because I can't intersect objects, but I'm thinking like it's gonna give it a problem because there's objects in the way of moving. I love this image you're putting up. And because it's a wall of mouths, just in case you guys want to look this up to make sure I'm doing it right, I know you're doing it, Joe. It's called Wall of Flesh, the spell.
All right. Is that basically
flesh.
where you wanted it? The 20-foot wall?
Amazing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. It's 20
Like
feet high and 20 feet wide.
It is 20, or it's 15 feet high because of the length of the
I'm
walls
sorry,
here,
yeah.
but it is 3 feet thick. And each 5-foot section has its own AC and hit points, and it's covered in mouths.
Gross.
So at the end of your turn, things might happen if you try to go around it.
How dare you? Okay, and it's 15 feet long then, right? 15 by 15?
Yeah, it goes like kind of just like right up to where Ethel is because it can't pass through any objects. So I'm imagining it's like right in front of the dragon there.
What about the table? Can it pass through that table?
Since it's 3 feet, I was imagining, I can't like show you what I'm doing with my mouse right now, but I was imagining it was in that like half tile space, like right in front of the dragon, or is the dragon there?
Well, that's tricky, right? So technically, by Pathfinder rules, the dragon takes up that whole spot. So you could put it where I just put it here. That's clear. And I think it's still going to do the same thing that you were hoping. Because this doesn't help Ethel, and that doesn't help Ethel. This helps everybody else.
Yeah.
She could draw in a straight diagonal line.
I can't.
Not because of the table.
It can't intersect with an object?
Yeah, it says it must be an unbroken open space so its edges don't pass through any creatures or objects or the spell is lost.
I think this is great. Like, obviously, Ethel isn't still in trouble, but Ethel's down. So you would hope that this enemy is more interested in taking out the rest of you than just going after Ethel. Obviously, is a concern based on your particular feelings for Ethel. But I think this is still going to serve a good purpose for you, especially where it goes all the way to the ceiling.
You could also do this and draw it horizontally.
Yeah.
Yes, you could.
It's only 3 feet thick.
Yeah, if you want to just protect Ethel, you can do that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's up to you.
I don't know anymore now because also the part of it having mouths is that when it tries to move around it, it like bites at it.
So you're trying to pin
Goes
it
down.
into the corner. Yeah.
Oh, that's way better.
Just make it take up the whole thing. All right,
Can
maybe
you do 30 feet by 30 feet?
maybe this can't happen in this room. There's too many things in the way and it's more cramped.
I think it's a cool idea. You just got to decide which way you want to put it.
I wanted to have to go around and not have a straight shot. So even though it's like not protecting Ethel, I feel like it makes more sense for it to be right here where it's like up and down long ways. And if it's not going to be where I originally wanted it to be, then I would like for it to be up to 30 feet long. So I want it to be way longer.
Oh, it can be longer.
Mm-hmm.
So cut off the whole room?
All the way up to the north
20,
wall there.
25, 30, like this. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And I could flush it north if you want.
Yes, because I don't want to leave Ethel with no way out just in case.
Cool.
And
and creepy.
Yeah, so
that's
now if it
only-
wants to try and make it through that one little open space, it will have to pass by the wall and it will have to squeeze.
Awesome.
Which works a little different, if I remember, in Pathfinder 2e. It's not just like a reduction to your AC like it is in first edition. It's a separate action.
And it's an acrobatics check, too.
Yeah, and like it takes a critical success. It still takes a minute to get through. So if we're doing traditional 2e squeezing, it basically can't do it in combat.
And then I would like to cast shield on my...
Just want to throw this out there, which means you may have just condemned Ethel to death.
I knew you were going to do that. I knew. I was like,
No, I
I'm not
still
gonna
have-
say
Just
it.
putting that out there.
I still have... I don't know what else
A
to do.
very intelligent dragon.
It's still just a dream.
I know. That's the thing.
It was
Just
all
don't
a
know.
dream.
It was all
An
a
humble
dream.
dragon killed your lover.
And I'm trying to think of like what else I can do with one action to like help Ethel here, but like I really don't have anything outside of shield. And I can't just like run in there because let me just look at my focus spells again really quick. Needle of Vengeance didn't work last time. Yeah, I don't know what else I can do. So I think I might just cast shield. I can only cast it on myself, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so I'm going to cast it on myself because I'm not going to move because I want to maybe try to get him if I can.
Oh,
Okay.
Next turn.
All right, so 2 action.
You think it's a
wall,
dumb idea.
1 action.
Joe, I see your face.
Shield.
I think this whole turn is magnificent.
Thank you.
And it ends round. Ethel moves in the initiative order to immediately after or before?
Before the dragon.
The dragon.
That's a real pain in my ass.
It doesn't matter. There's nothing that he can do on his turn that would prevent you from destroying him.
He just means literally moving your thing. Is
Just the initiative. All right. It's a new round. It's Suki's turn. Suki, you only see a wall of flesh with mouths, and you assume you'll never see Ethel again. What would you like to do?
Suki, free action, says to Aldo, or it says to Atticus, I'm in here. Behind you, through the door. There's the gear. It changes the rock that's downstairs. If you can turn it, we can open it up. I don't know if we need to do that right now, but I have to go. And she runs back out of the room after seeing Eris put this wall up, smacking Atticus
be careful,
on the way
Suki.
up.
Try to keep your distance from all of us. It has a breath weapon.
Wait, you're just leaving us here with this building made of meat.
I'm gonna double move past Eris, and I'm running. I'm yelling to everybody. There's a room in the back that has the gears that lead to the rock that's downstairs, and we can open it up. She's just sprinting to this side, and then can I fit in this space between the flesh? I'm like now below the flesh wall at the tiny little space that's left.
Yes. Is that what you want to do?
No, I was gonna ask, would a medium-sized creature fit in this space or no?
Wait. Any creature that ends their turn with an...
Oh, yeah, no, I'm going to take a step back.
What are you doing,
Suki? I would take a step back. I didn't know if it was
she's
friendly.
fine.
I didn't know if it was friendly to us.
I mean, it's a meat wall.
I mean, the meat wall gotta eat. The meat wall eats anything that shows
Meanwhile,
up.
don't lie.
Damn, shoot. Okay, I can't... I'm trying to see if I can cast heal. If I do a verbal, the spell has a range of 30 feet. It doesn't say anything about...
Line of sight.
Yeah, I don't know if...
You always have to have line of effect. Yeah,
Okay.
you can't do it now, but you can do it next round. It's fine. He's not going to die. You'll be fine.
He might.
He's not going to die
Can you
this
double
round.
move into this alcove down here below, so you're 5 feet away from the wall when your turn ends?
Yeah,
Oh,
but-
it's... But then I'm with the dragon.
Yeah, then you're just going to die next immediately. You
Yeah,
just go
I
right
have
down.
to. I have to wait. It sucks, but I simply have to wait. So I'm gonna run up next to Eris and I yell all that about the back room. And I just say, I'll try to get Ethel out.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
Okay. All right. So you slide up and decide not to go up to the meat wall.
Meatwall looks bad, I will admit.
That's
I run out, and as I get closer, I was like, ooh, and I gotta stop. Oh no.
I found this pretty quickly, but it's pretty accurate.
It
for this
really
meat
is.
wall.
It's like Akira. The end.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Oh,
It's Atticus's turn.
Atticus is going to. He's going to step into the room with the gears and go around so that he cannot be seen or targeted by the dragon.
Okay.
And he is going to cast invisibility on himself.
Oh.
That's a 2-action, John.
2-action John, so that's his turn. And now my frightened condition is gone.
Okay.
Rear with the gears.
My frightened condition is gone too, right? Or no, I have to wait until I...
Right. It's coming after you roll your save. So it's now your turn, Ethel, and you roll your save. And I mean, I'm pretty sure you maintain the frightened until the end of the
turn,
save. Yeah.
because I haven't had a turn since.
Right.
Do I get to shake off a condition while I'm unconscious? That's the thing, or do I stay frightened even in my sleep?
No, you
have a turn. It's a turn.
It goes away.
You can say flavor frightened, but yeah, it goes away.
Flavor frightened. Okay, so DC 11 flat check, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Crack die. 18.
Okay.
I'm at 0 hit points and unconscious.
Yes, and now
And
are you
wounded 1.
And wounded 1.
Yes.
Yes. So if you go to dying again, which looks like it may happen, you would go straight to dying 2. If you get crit, you go straight to dying 3. This is bad.
This is bad business.
And it's the dragon's turn. Now, Ethel, you're laying on the ground there, and the dragon sees this giant wall of meat and does not like it. I would argue that she may have never seen a meat wall like this.
With mouths that are like tauntingly chomping out at it.
It's not every day you see a mouthy meat wall.
Seriously.
You know what? It is the Dreamlands. You never know how they eat here.
It is
Be
a
more
bold
open-minded.
statement. I'm getting the vibes that this dragon is 3 levels higher than us, which means at the very least, this dragon's seen some shit.
Here's what she does. She flies down to this alcove here so she can peer past the meat wall. Now, she is technically adjacent to the meat wall. We'll deal with that in a second. She's trying to see what's going on past the meat wall. And she sees
Bless you.
she sees Eris, she sees Suki. She probably doesn't see Aldo, but she assumes that Aldo is still restrained by the magical, torturous bed. And let's see, I do have a good line on Eris and Suki. Man, if I had a good line spell, maybe I do. Let me see, because she can see you. Let me just look at my spells real quick. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's a good one too. Oh, I forgot I had that. Nice. She has 2 spells.
Is she flying?
Yes, she is, with her dragon wings.
Is she taking an action to fly every round?
That's fair, Joe. That's fair. That's only if she doesn't move from the space. She flew, which was the move action. I think as long as you do that, you don't have to spend an action to hover.
Okay.
And so she flew down to this little alcove here, adjacent to the wall. Like I said, we will deal with that momentarily. In the meantime, she is going to cast a spell, which I'm going to, let's put this on the old token layer. She is going to cast
Quick question.
Dark. Yeah.
The breath weapon is we don't know when that's going to reset based on Aldo's knowledge check that was never mentioned.
No, that he did get a ton of information, but you didn't know what the recharge on that is. You do know that most dragons do have some sort of recharge. Some dragons have really cool abilities where something can happen that immediately recharges it in 2E, which is fun. Just throwing that out there, apropos of nothing. However, she just cast darkness and bathed Aldo, Suki, and Eris in magical darkness. Can you guys see that little orb that I put there? Just
the disco ball of darkness?
Yeah,
Yes.
the disco ball is this there, so I can throw an aura on it. Now, if you have dark vision, then everything is dim light for you, which is going to take certain, I think it's a DC 5 flat check if you want to do anything. If you don't have dark vision, you would need to cast a light spell of a higher level than the darkness that she cast in order to see normally.
Which will not happen among this party.
It's a whole
Unless
can of
maybe
dicks.
Aldo's sunlight. Possible.
Maybe, possibly, but that's what you're dealing with right here. There's going to be some flat checks and whatnot, but that is her turn, and now it moves to Aldo's turn. Aldo, what's your light situation?
I do not have any. I do have the bottled sunlight, but now I'm gun shy about it because everybody said I was interpreting it wrong last time I talked about it.
Don't listen to them.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know if they were talking about how it interacted with the Wraith or the whole thing in general.
I'm so terrified of the fans now that I can't even. I'm terrified beyond the capacity for rational thought. No, I think it was the.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
Using it on the undead. No.
It sheds bright light. Like that's exactly what this is meant to counter. Is magical darkness.
Okay, great.
And it's second level, so it probably won't work against this creature's darkness, but it's pretty clear.
You would know, Aldo, that darkness is a second level spell. So if this is a traditional darkness, you would meet it. If it's a higher level darkness, which it very well could be because it's a dragon, it won't do anything. So it's kind of like a...
It could heighten its darkness, right? Like that's what it is. Like it's still just darkness, but it would have to get prepared at a higher level.
If it's of a lower level, it does nothing.
No, I understand, but it would have to prepare it at a higher level. It's not a higher level spell, right?
Right, like darkness heightened to fourth.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to whip it out. Excuse me while I whip this out.
It's bottled sunlight.
It's dark. Nobody can see, man. Do whatever you want.
And it's like a glow stick. I shake it, or the phial of Galadriel. And it's just woo. This bright magical light is emitted from it. Does it work or not?
No.
Okay. So in that case, even if I could see, I don't have line of sight because of the meat wall. So
Kate.
All I can do, I think, since I already did a knowledge check and I can't move, is try to free myself. So I will do that now.
Let's go. Natural Twanzoni.
All right. There's a 20.
A straight 20?
No, 16. Sorry, this is 16. That's 2 fails. All right. So
Oh, man.
democracy and Aldo dies in darkness.
I'm actually picturing this moment, though. It's devastating, but it's so cool that you pull out this bottled sunlight, that you shake it, and to see it just like swallowed, it becomes like a little bit of purple or something, and then it's just like gone. It's like so
it's like
terrifying.
a glimmer of like dim light for a moment, and then it's just like, oh, baga. So yeah, I'm just like, but oh wait, actually this should have happened on the dragon's turn, but it has to do the flat check.
Right.
But first, it takes 5 points of poison damage.
Okay. And of course, Lavallee luck. I rolled exactly a 15
Great.
on the flat check.
Awesome.
5 points of John damage. And it is still flat-footed. But it is no longer poisoned.
Hold on a second. Maybe we get this wrong. Do you just automatically make everything at a higher level now? All of your alchemy?
Who are you talking about? Aldo?
Yeah, Aldo. Do you just like... Is your bottled
Well, the
sunlight
item level
automatically
is 4.
like moderate now?
The item, it is a it is a moderate bottled sunlight. The item level is 4.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So it's actually level 4, not level 2. I don't know how item level interacts with magical spell, but it's alchemical. I don't know. But I mean, to me, it seems like you gotta have something that faces up against this besides only divine magic. Like, why not an alchemical bottled sunlight if it's a level 4 item?
Oh, that's interesting. How does item level mix with spell level? Are they synonymous? One would think, right?
Yeah, that's how I would consider it.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of it is like bottled sunlight greater is item 12. Yeah, all right. We'll look it up later, but to me that seems, if it's item level 4, it was heightened darkness, which was 4, so I'm going to say that you do get light. And that sheds in, what, a 20-foot radius?
Yes.
All right, so this will be interesting to see how these overlap. So if you're in Aldo's sphere here, which Eris and Suki are just out of, you can't see, but Aldo was able to shed light and then tried twice to escape and missed. So Eris and Suki can now look. I imagine you can look out from your darkness that's right in front of your face, and you can see Aldo over there. But you still, I don't know what your dark vision situation is. The dragon may still be concealed to you.
Okay, so now I can see.
You can see, but you can't see the dragon, right? You can see
it's so black
the
and red.
room.
But at least I can. Yeah. This is.
Yeah.
Elbereth. Gilthaniel.
Yeah, I mean, you start getting into the weeds, and which I have done with Chewie, the way undetected, concealed, and all this shit works, and I find it to be a little bit mind-numbing, but that's only because you just got to get it in your body a little bit. But like, there's a number of different ways to do it. I think like you could still attack it. The meat wall aside, you could still attack it, and then I roll to determine if it hit or not. If you tell me what square you want to roll it. Right now, you don't have to worry about.
It's really not that bad. Undetected, you can't do anything because you don't know it's there at all.
Right.
And it's just hidden and concealed. Those are really the only two.
Right, but
hidden
undetected
is DC 11,
really,
concealed is DC 5.
I have to take an action to sneak and hide for it to truly be undetected, and it didn't do that. Like, it just made an area dark. So until I do that, I'm not really undetected. I'm just concealed. But if
you're hidden,
hidden,
unless somebody has dark vision.
Yeah.
Then you're
This
concealed.
guy-
And
yeah,
it's all it is DC 11 versus DC 5 flat check.
Right, which is huge. And if you
Yeah.
have dark vision, it's DC 5 as opposed to DC 11. But anyways, until that becomes relevant, let's not worry too much about it. We got a meat wall, all courtesy of Eris. And Eris, it is your turn.
And it's not flat-footed any longer, also.
Oh,
Damn it.
Now, Eris, I should say, we did gloss over the fact that I ended my turn next to your meat wall.
Oh, I totally forgot. Okay,
And so unfortunately, we have to move on because you didn't say it.
No,
Wow.
because we should have done it as soon as you got there, but you're like, but my move is gonna be so cool, we gotta interrupt it. So I forgot, and it's your fault, and I'm not doing it. So yes, strike the mouth strike any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of the wall. So I make a spell attack roll.
Okay.
Oh my god, I think it's plus 17.
It's got to be a good roll.
Natural 19. So that's 20. Wait, is that more? 36?
Yes.
17 plus 19 is 36.
Sure is. That's a hit.
36 to hit.
You
Is
just
that a
mouth-walled
crit?
me.
No.
No.
Just mouthed that dragon.
Mouth walled that dragon. I didn't expect to hit, so I didn't finish reading this. Piercing damage, 1d6 plus my spell. 21. That's a 2 plus my
4.
spellcasting ability modifier.
Yeah.
6 points of damage.
My spellcasting ability modifier is 4.
Yep. I mean, unless it's 5.
I know
but
what you're talking about.
I bet it's 4.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think
All
it
right.
can be 5 quite yet.
So 6 points of damage. Any other ancillary? Now it's mad because it got bit by a mouth wall.
No.
Nope.
Nothing else. Except, and this is amazing,
What?
the mouth wall can drink potions and heal
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah. You can't heal it any other way, but since it has mouths, it can consume consumables.
That is so scary. Just like go up and like set a potion in front of it.
Just so you know, this isn't the only type of mouth. This isn't the only type of flesh wall that I can do.
Gross. Are all
I want you
witches
all to know
gross?
I have a lot of flesh walls.
Stay tuned,
in my
folks.
arsenal.
I got a couple more.
Fans of flesh walls should stay tuned. It's your turn, Eris.
All right, 6 points of sweet, sweet damage. So I can't see it. It's not undetected to me because I know it's there, but I can't see it.
It's hidden
I
from you.
See the light from Aldo, and this sucks. This meat wall's great, but it also sucks.
But
You
you
could boldly move forward and then you'd see it, but then you'd be cutting off your friends.
I'd be fighting myself too because
Well, I mean, do you have something that you can attack it from here with if it wasn't hidden?
I mean, most of my spells are somatic, which
Wait,
means
but can't you just move up 5 feet into Aldo's light and
But
then you
since
can
there's darkness in between there, like the light doesn't penetrate
help.
that extra 5 feet of darkness. It doesn't completely overlap it.
She's not going to be
Oh.
able to see it at any
I
point.
see.
Any reasonable point.
Yeah, like all of my spells are somatic, which I feel like you need.
That doesn't matter. Are your spells, do they have an attack roll? Do any of your spells have an attack roll to hit it?
I mean, yeah, some of them do and some of them don't.
Yeah, if they don't, you can't cast it. If they do,
okay.
you can with a DC 11 flat check. So if it has a 2 hit like that with a roll, you could basically just like shoot it into where you last saw the dragon. But it's a DC 11 flat check. It's 50-50
Yeah.
chance.
And I don't think I have any of those prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think we just got to wait for it to come into the light or something,
So
which I guess it won't do.
I'm going to
Because the Milo.
move 25 feet back. 5, 10. It's just somewhere over here. And then I'm going to magic missile for 2 rounds
There you go.
at the dragon, I guess.
You can't.
No.
You have
because it's
to
not an
see
attack.
it. Yeah, you have to see it.
I just thought because it was magic missile, it'd be special. All right, so I moved And I'm going to do a round of infectious enthusiasm, which is one of my cantrips I don't think I've ever used. So I'm like, hey guys, it's going to be fine. We've got the wall there now, and it's going to chomp at him. You see that? It chomped at him, and Ethel's going to be fine. I think he might be awake. So that lasts for a round, and everyone within 30 feet gets a +1 status bonus to your choice of attack, will save, or charisma-based skill checks.
Whoa, that's awesome.
great.
Thank you.
Should
You're
do that
welcome.
more often.
That's huge.
That's awesome.
It's 2 actions, so I'm always like, oh, 2, but.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
2. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's still.
So I move and I try to boost the party.
It's still great, especially against enemies that are going to make us roll will saves. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, so that's Eris's turn, and we kick off a new round with old Suki.
The Sookster.
Little old who, me? Suki is going to cast a spell, and again, every spell where she transforms is Sailor Moon style, so you see like a flash of red light, and then these like spinning, almost like glittery red fabrics in this. Well, you could see if it wasn't dark. It's not even impressive now. But spinning red fabrics twirl around, and suddenly you see like almost like a fire golem in her place with this like red flowing fiery dress, and just like a guttural primal voice comes out, and she just says, "Kill!" And she's gonna run.
Oh man.
45 feet into the space behind where Ethel is.
Wait, did you run through the meat wall?
I ran around the meat wall.
So, okay, but the dragon's there.
There's no way to squeeze by?
You can tumble through.
You can tumble through.
I can tumble through.
Yeah, so you can move up to the dragon. And then
I wonder what its
attempt-
athletics DC is. Is it
First
athletics DC
action
or
is
reflex
move up
DC?
to the dragon.
It's
Second
acrobatic.
action would be a tumble through.
It's acrobatics, isn't it?
No, tumble through is part of the move, but yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, tumble through. You stride up to your speed. During this movement, you can try to move through the space of one enemy. Attempt an acrobatics check against the awesome dragon's reflex DC. It's weird that they wrote awesome dragon
Oddly specific.
in the text of the spell. You can tumble through using climb, flies. Yeah, so it's acrobatics against the reflex DC of the dragon. It's not crazy, because if you get in there, you can do it. But
I have an okay acrobatics.
what's your athletics?
It's acrobatics. It's a +12.
Acrobatics plus 12.
So natural one zoni.
I think the similar vein to what Aldo is feeling. You're like, this is going to be tough.
Okay, well.
But you do have we have not abolished bottle caps yet in this game. You do have a fresh cap.
Joe is vehemently shaking his head not to use my bottle cap.
You don't
on
use
this.
a bottle cap when you only a natural 20 is the only thing that will work.
But
on
you
the
don't
die.
know that that's the case. It could be an 18, 19, 20, 17, or it could be a
Joe,
19,
don't be
20.
such a Debbie Downer.
I'm just guessing that this dragon has a reflex save in the 20 plus range.
Let
That's my
the
guess.
cap economy flow.
Okay,
That's true.
I'm not using a bottle cap. Joe talked me out of it with a simple head shake. I rolled a natural 17,
Okay,
so it's a 29.
20.
great shot.
That's a fail.
Oh, God. Damn it.
I mean,
All right, well. I did my best. I
yeah,
thought-
but now I think it just ends your movement, and then you have 2 more actions.
Failure. Your movement ends and you trigger reactions as if you had moved out of the square you started in. And as Matthew alluded to, as if it was Chekhov's gun. Wonder if this dragon has an attack of opportunity.
It does!
It does.
Oh, Sookster.
How did we end last week's episode?
Oh, no, I knew you were going to do this right now. I knew you were
Did
going to do it
Suki
right
do
now.
something weird? She did it again. We'll see you next week.
Suki, you did it again! Yeah, you did it again! I'm the closer. I just know how to end these episodes.
You know the best part?
Closer.
It was DC 30.
So Natty 18 would have done it.
I would have done it.
Oh, I said 20 plus reflex save. It was 20. 20 reflex save.
Sayonara.
Bye, Suki.
Six.